Welcome again to the JLife community interviews, and I'm delighted to say I'm here with Mark Frankland, who's the owner of Motor Marque, a long-time client of JLife, and I'm sure many people will recognise Mark from his regular appearances on local radio. Good morning, Mark. How are you doing?
Good morning, Elliot. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So, for those who don't know, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I started Motor Marque over 20 years ago and set up as a mobile mechanic. Expanded the business over the last 2 years, and eventually now we've always operated in and around North Leeds, but we've now got quite a large site employing a large number of technicians just off the ring road. As I say, been in the motor trade for a long time. Enjoy it most of the time, and it's good fun, even though there are challenging times at the moment.
Now, I remember when you were in Chapel Allerton all those years ago. And what year did you start?
1997.
Yeah, good. Wow.
I was very young.
I was going to say you don't look old enough. So, I mean, it's been a real success story, and obviously you'll have seen many challenges along the way. But surely the last few months, a challenge that nobody saw coming. How have you as a business coped and adapted?
It's been incredible, hasn't it? And no one has seen anything like this before. It is just unheard of. And I had a chat with a friend the other day, and we said we thought we'd seen the big events, 9/11, the death of Diana, but this is the one that we will all remember, and our children will remember for many, many decades to come. It's unprecedented, but it's brought with it incredible human kindness, and
Yeah.
people around me have behaved in a way which has been fantastic. There's a better sense of community. People within my team have excelled and taken upon it themselves to be really careful, really safe, and without any prompt have made huge adaptations to the way that they operate. And that's meant that we've actually carried through quite well. Initially it was a tremendous shock, and prior to the announcement of furlough, it was a real worry for anybody in business or who's employed. Particularly, if you run a business, your concern is with your staff. And I set out the mission when this first happened to not lose any jobs and to make sure there was a business here right through to June at the time. And here we are, we're here, we've not lost any jobs, still got half the guys off on furlough, but we are and carrying on the best we can do.
Yeah, which is great, and as an employer, obviously you have duties of care to your staff, but also you've got to look after your business as well, and yourself and your family. It's very difficult.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, absolutely. So you reopened, didn't you? I know you were closed for a few weeks, and you managed to reopen. Are you offering all the services that you were offering before? How's it working?
Yeah, I mean, we're almost back to not normal, but certainly a new normal, which is what we're all going to have to do. We felt the right thing to do was to close, and we did it for a month. It was nice and sort of clean cut and easier to organise in terms of furlough, etc., and everyone knew where we stood. And we spent that month closed. There was some demand during that time for us to offer certain services for key workers, but very, very few people were using the cars. And I think it worked well, and I think it was the right thing to do in terms of keeping our guys at home, reducing the activity, reducing people leaving the house, when they don't really need to, and it worked. And of course, last month we opened back up again, having shut for April, opened in May with half the staff. We, are doing the best we can do. Parts are slower to arrive. Things are a little bit more difficult to get hold of. Everything's just different and a bit slower. Of course, we're having to be extra careful as we were before lockdown. We're protecting the cars with seat covers, steering wheel covers. The control surfaces are all covered in like a shrink wrap. We're disinfecting the keys, and of course, we've got social distancing. That took a bit of getting used to. We're used to seeing people at close quarters, shaking their hand, explaining the job. Getting involved and meeting our wonderful customers, and we can't do that in quite the same way now. We've had to change. So now we're sort of booming across an office at least sort of 3 meters away, and people are throwing their keys at us across the desk. It sounds we truly are all in the same boat. So the adaptation has gone well. A couple of things which we'd like to do, which we can't. We can't offer courtesy cars at the moment. We
No,
just don't feel that it's fair on our team to ask them to clean the cars when different people have been driving them, and we don't think it's fair on the customers to accept a car that we can't possibly, completely disinfect. We can't guarantee that, and so everyone's great. I think as a nation, we're more patient now. People
yeah,
are
I think so.
a bit kinder, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we're more giving, and we're certainly more flexible than we were, and hopefully that'll continue in the future. I know you've always been keen on customer services. I know personally that is the case, and it must be quite a challenge. But why? Tell us a little bit about why Motor Marque is the right place to go, because there's still a lot of people who I suppose think that they need to go to a main dealer, but that's not the case, is it?
It's not the case. There's a tremendous amount of choice in the motor trade. In some extent, it's been quite a saturated marketplace. I think the reason why we've stood out and had such a good run of success, and hopefully we'll continue to do so, is because we've always put the customer first. And
Mm,
key to what I've done in any of my ventures has been integrity, and it's been honest with people, letting people know what you can do and sometimes what you can't do. And I think that honesty shines through. My team here equally the same, in that they're all about explaining things to people in layperson's terms that they understand. So we get rid of the jargon. We give good, honest service, and we do the job to the absolute best of our ability. I
yeah.
think there are many places and many choices. The main dealers sometimes do offer very good service, but can be very, very expensive. They've got huge overheads, and they've got branding that they need to subscribe to. And so sometimes that makes them not very competitive. If your vehicle was under manufacturer's warranty, you can choose to take it elsewhere. They got rid of that monopoly some years ago.
Mm,
And if we can do it, and we will be always honest with you, we will do it.
mm,
And if we can't, then we can't do everything. I would
yeah.
never say it, but we can
Well,
certainly, fix a whole range of vehicles.
honesty is a great policy in business, I guess. So you used to write a column for JLife back in the day. So now's your opportunity. So we're into June. Obviously, we're in a very strange time. If what maybe just any advice, any tips you can give to our readers and viewers about motoring? Obviously, a lot of people haven't been driving as much as they would normally drive.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and it's a big difference to people's everyday vehicle usage, how people get about, and I think there's some really positive changes. I was always behind, helping clean the environment up and changing the way we use vehicles. I don't believe personally that the right way to do that is to ban vehicles and really aggressively go after the motorist and hit them in the pocket. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. Coincidentally, I think COVID-19 has brought about a different way, and I myself feel like whereas I might have driven to the shops and I didn't really need to, I'm getting out and walking, helped by the weather. But we're all using our cars much more sensibly now, much less, and
Yeah,
only when it. And that's really what we need to do, and that's fantastic. And I
yeah,
would positively encourage people to use other forms of transport when they can, and use the car when they really need to do so. But
right.
that's led to cars standing idle on driveways, and
Yes,
we've
of
got
course.
and we'll get a lot of that as we come through. I'm sure. If
Yeah.
you've not used a car for 3 weeks and not started it, I can almost guarantee you the battery will be flat, unfortunately. So
So
you
is
can.
your advice maybe for people to keep the car turning over and maybe just go around the block if they're not using it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, run it, and you can run it stationary for at least 20 minutes, and that will charge the battery up. Try and avoid loads of electrics on. You can have the radio on if you want, but other
Mm,
than that, take a bit of peace and quiet time. Take a book, sit in the car, and just relax. Don't run it in the garage. Obviously, it's got to be in the open air, the
mm,
fumes. But of course, yeah, run that vehicle. And if you can and you feel confident, yeah, go out for a journey. Make it more than 20 minutes, otherwise it will just deplete the battery. The other
okay.
thing that's important for people as well at the moment is the MOT extension. I don't know if you're aware, but the government have extended your
Yes, I
MOT,
am.
and that's been really important. And it's allowed people to, still be legal on the road and have an MOT, but it's given them a grace period. The important caveat with that is that it is still the motorist, so the vehicle owner's responsibility to
Yeah.
ensure that vehicle is safe, and they've got to do that. So yes, take advantage of that. And if you're finding it difficult to get an MOT, which is becoming increasingly easier because more garages are open now, but if you are, shielding or still in lockdown, or you're unable, then you can take advantage of that MOT grace period. However, do check your car. Cars continue to wear, and they don't always wear because of mileage. They wear because of time. So
Yeah.
brakes can rust up, even though the weather's good. Things can perish and cause problems.
Yeah.
So it's your responsibility to check your car's safe. So I would advise, really, run your car, as frequently as is absolutely necessary, at least every couple of weeks. Run the air conditioning system through as well. Actually, they need to be run to stop.
I was going to ask you about air conditioning. Obviously, we're in the middle of a sort of mini heat wave, aren't we? So is that something you can help with?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, put your air conditioning on, and it should be okay. Average time is about 2 years before they need, re-topping up and refilling, and we can do that again. And it's a relatively inexpensive job to have that done, and it will keep the car nice and cool and fresh.
Yeah, good, great advice. And I know that you're doing some great offers at the moment as well, just to try and encourage people to come in and get the car serviced and so on. So I've taken advantage of that. So hopefully other people will too. Just finally, Mark, obviously I just wanted to just just talk for a couple of seconds about the future, and if you feel that the COVID situation has changed in your industry, the way things will work.
Yeah, I think it has. I think we're all going to work differently. Sometimes I think more efficiently.
Okay.
I'm focusing on the optimistic things. This is a terrible thing,
Yeah.
and many people have and unfortunately will lose their lives, and that's not to be, ignored. However, I do try and focus on the positives. I think that's a good thing. I think positives in human behaviour and kindness, as I said, and I think positives in business as well. We will be more efficient. We will adapt. We will change, and the economy will get back on its feet. I'm pretty sure. We'll still need to talk to the community. You will still need your car fixing. We'll all get back on it. Take time, but we'll be okay. We'll make it.
I hope so. I hope so. Mark, it's been great to talk to you. Really positive and really some really helpful advice for everybody as well. So just left to me to say, Mark, thank you very much.
Thanks, Elliot. Thank you.
Take care.